Yes, we are here again for the Black Giant Show podcast. And it is another day, it is another beautiful moment. And today we are going to be discussing about music generally, but particularly gospel music. And right here with us is a gospel music analyst. Permit me to use that word because he is going to be telling us quite a lot. Because it looks like the gospel music industry, in a way or the other way around, I mean, it looks like we are mixing up things, and certain level of awareness, correction, inspiration, ideas need to be dished out. And today on this platform, we are going to take advantage of everything available to us to make sure the information gets to you. All right. My name is Lawrence Okpe, and this is another section of the Black Giant Show podcast. And today, like I said, we are having a music analyst, a pastor, a singer, or a music minister, like you would want to put it. And today you have the opportunity of enjoying such a privilege of information. Right here with me is, should I use Bishop now? Okay, no, let's just leave it as it is. Pastor AB, like I usually call him, Pastor Abraham. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Black Giant Show.
Thank you, sir, for having me.
Yes,
it's a pleasure being here today. To the viewers, I'm excited being in your space today. Thank you, sir.
Excited being in our space.
Yeah.
Well, it's so much a privilege having you on ground. A lot has been happening. A lot is going on. Yeah. We are seeing it. We're hearing it. And you have, offered yourself as a living sacrifice to come talk about these things and then see how we can get some things right. And I want to start this way. What is music to you?
Okay, let me rephrase that. It's not what is music to me.
Okay.
It is what is music.
Generally.
Okay, so I'm not using my opinion.
You want to tell us about music, so generally?
You understand what I'm saying?
Because
music is not my opinion.
All right.
I didn't initiate music. So, but music in its simplest term is the organization of sound, for the listening pleasure of anyone. You understand? The organization of sound to the listening pleasure of anyone. That means every sound that must be listened to has to be organized. It is when it is organized and it is pleasant, then it's music.
So unpleasant sounds are not music.
Are not music, because music are sounds that are organized.
All right. So now that brings us to the part of which we are going to be talking about. What is gospel music?
Okay. Gospel music is, the word gospel is the good news.
Good news, yeah.
Okay, and it's not the good news about anything. It's the good news about what Jesus has done, for the entire human race, the death, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus. So that is the gospel, which means good news, Lugelion, good news. You understand? So it's not the good news of you buying a car. It's not the good news of you were poor and then you are rich. It's not the good news of something terrible wanted to happen to you and it didn't happen. No, it's the good news of all that Christ has accomplished through his obedience. That's the good news. So when we talk about gospel music, we're talking about the sound that talks about the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
The death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. Now, it looks like you are limiting it to the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Must it be limited?
Of course. When you use the word gospel, it has already limited, music to that environment. So
any song that is not inclined with this structure is not a gospel music.
It's not a gospel music. It may sound nice, good reading, good harmony, good arrangement,
good words,
good melody, good words, but it's not the gospel, because the gospel is not just anything. It is the burial, resurrection, the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. That is the good news. So if your song does not fall within these parameters, it is not a gospel song.
Going by this description,
yes,
it means a lot of songs we call gospel songs may not fit in. as gospel songs.
Of
A
course.
lot of songs that we sing in church.
Of course, a lot of songs that we sing. Now, mind you that there are certain songs that are not bad. You understand? So, but if we want to limit it to gospel, then a lot of songs will be knocked off. In fact, a lot of people will not have what to sing. You understand? Because the word gospel has defined itself. Are you understanding me? So when you go with the word gospel, you must not say anything outside the death, the burial, and resurrection of Jesus. That's what the gospel is. So if you say you were poor and then things were bad and then you are now living well, it's
by
not
the help
gospel.
of Christ.
By the help, no, it's not the gospel.
Even by the help of Christ.
Do not forget that before Jesus died, before Jesus was born, died, and resurrected, people had properties, people had money, people are rich.
So it wasn't his coming that actually
Are you understanding me? So it is not his coming that makes people rich. If you want to get rich, you do business, you establish business, and then you build wealth for yourself. Do you get it? So even before Jesus came, people were rich. So if they were to sing, what would they sing about? If they were to sing, they would sing about their status, their environment, the things that happened to them. So in our days, we want to sing, we're still singing about the things that we have, the things we've been able to accomplish. Then what's the difference? So the gospel is all about the good news of all that Jesus, the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus has accomplished for the entire human race. That is the gospel. So if we say gospel music, what we're simply saying is the good news of all that the birth, death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus has accomplished.
So if I sing now, Baba God don't change my life, oh, I see my car, see my, all of those things that God has done for me through, is not a gospel song.
It's not the gospel. Because when it is better you remove the word gospel and say music. But when you use the term gospel, it is already out of place, because the gospel is defined. Do not forget, when a thing is defined, it's defined. And if whatever you're engaging with does not fall within the environment it has created, then it's out of place.
Okay, now that brings us to the next question. Who should we now call a gospel minister?
Okay, a gospel minister, like it states, is someone who talks about the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Is a gospel preacher or a gospel singer.
So, if it is motivational
songs are beautiful songs, inspiring songs. There are a lot of beautiful songs out there. Now, there's something we must understand, is that when we sing, we must understand is a communication. When you talk, you're communicating. We are talking, we are communicating. When I sing, it's also communication. But this time is in tune, is in melody. You understand? But the essence of the communication is more vital than just communicating. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I don't have something that benefits you, communication is useless. It's not just me talking to you, but it's me talking and then you're responding, to what I'm saying. And what I'm saying has to bet an experience for you or to you. Are you understanding me? So there are a lot of beautiful songs out there that is encouraged for people to sing. But it shouldn't be called a gospel song because it has the name of God or the name of Jesus mentioned in it. No, that is not what makes it the gospel song or a gospel song. What makes it a gospel song is it talks about the birth, burial, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Now, I have heard you sing songs, popular songs, and then while I try to sing along, I realize that the lyrics you use are different from the lyrics we know about. Why do you do that?
Okay, so I do that not to show off that I know how to sing or I have a better understanding. I do that because of the knowledge of this truth called the gospel. And two, with the fact that the essence of the singing is just like I'm preaching. Why do we preach? We preach for people to have the knowledge of the truth so that their mindset will be changed and aligned to the truth so that they can experience freedom. And it is only the gospel that brings freedom. Paul said, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation. So if you want a man to experience salvation, freedom, you ought to communicate to the man the gospel. So when I do that, I understand that I'm not just singing to make you feel good. I am passing a message of freedom, a message of salvation, telling that man that you have been set apart, you have been saved by this and this and this that Jesus has done, has brought you from away from this experience to this experience. So, and the time of singing is not to just gather, is to renew the mind of the people, that we are gathered with, to make sure that we increase the consciousness in the mind of every man about who they are, based on that which Christ has done for them.
One of the songs that you've twisted, can you give us one?
Okay, so I twisted a song, now to him who sits upon the throne, okay, will raise a sound. Okay, there are a lot of songs I've done a twist to. Okay, now I'm not the original writer of the song, so but because of the knowledge, I sing the song this way. Now unto him, now to the one who made us one, we raise a sound. For we have been raised to life with him. We raise a sound, hallelujah. For we've been seated with Christ in heavenly places. Okay, so let me sing it so that you get to say. So now to the one who made us one, we raise a sound, hallelujah. For we've been raised to life with him. We raise a sound, hallelujah. For we are one, we are seated together in Christ, now and forever. For we are one, we are seated together in Christ, now and forever. Now to the one.
Pastor A, what was the original lyrics used? And
okay, so
what problem did you have with those?
I don't have a problem with the song. Like I said,
feel it's not.
No, okay, so like I said,
yes,
the gospel is the good news.
The good news,
okay, of all that Christ has done.
So you only changed this.
So now, are you following what I'm saying? Now, I don't know where the person sang from. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so there are different ways of getting inspired. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I could be inspired to sing a song or write a song from my experience. Are you understanding me? Okay, people tell story for different reasons. Okay, so now, but for me, I only just play with the sound, okay, and sing the gospel with that same sound. Do you understand what I'm saying? Why? Because now remember, like I said, it's the good news. So what am I singing about? Now to the one. So this sound, I'm singing to the one who made us one. I'm raising a sound because, are you understanding me? Now I started talking about what he has done. For oneness, we have been raised to life with him. We raise his sound. So the reason why I'm singing is based on what he has done. And I'm talking about the things he has done. We've been raised to life with him. For we are one. We are seated together in Christ forever.
Now, are you trying to say that prosperity does not come from God?
Okay, so if permit me to use put it this way. Okay, so when you say prosperity, comes from God, we should be able to tell people how God prosper people.
Because I know in His word that said, "I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper."
So when you use the word prosper, the first thing that comes to mind is financial, material. Okay. So, but the prosperity is not referring to the physical. Are you getting me? But the prosperity of the spiritual can actually produce or enable you have a better physical experience. Do you understand what I'm saying? So God does not give money. Are you understanding me?
God does not give
money.
Even miracle money.
No, God does not give money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, if you want money, it's either you have a skill or you have a product you sell, and in return you make money. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. So, but by the knowledge of the truth, I'm seated here today. By the knowledge of the truth, I've been able to have insight on things. Are you get what I'm saying? Are you get what I'm saying? And that insight can profit me in making money. Do you get what I'm saying, right? Okay, so I've been able to learn things by the Spirit of God, teaching my mind on certain things that I do not know. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so now I could use that as a means of making money. For instance, I can sit down and have an idea of which I've done several times. I've designed a lot of businesses just sitting down. For instance, let me give you an instance. I sat down one day and I started having ideas of structuring a program for transporters. For instance, the Okada within an environment, okay, to make the work easy for them and both their customers by segmenting them at different locations, by numbering the houses and the streets, okay, and generating a code for them for the customers to engage the bike people. So instead of you patrolling burning fuel and then going up and down, you stay at a spot, okay, and then they dial a code and it comes to you, and you know the house of where the person is dialing the code from, because the houses are already segmented and then the code is generated by every environment. Nobody taught me that. It was an insight I got by the Spirit of God. So if I have the capacity of funds to put it out there, you see, I'm making money.
You're making money.
Are you getting it? But God didn't send money into my room and I just woke up and then I saw what you call miracle money. It didn't happen that way. How did it happen? The insight, because my mind is aligned with the reality of who I am. Are you understanding me? So I have to have the inspiration of certain things that I have not taught by the Spirit of God.
It then means that the realization of who you are is also part of the journey of making the gospel music.
Of course, because you first of all need to know who you are. I cannot tell you something that I don't even know. I have to know it for me to tell you. Do you understand? There's a popular saying that says, what you do not have, you cannot give. Are you understanding me? So if I don't know it, I cannot tell you. Remember, I may also tell you because I heard someone say it. But the truth is, the essence of the knowledge is not just for you to assimilate it, it's for you to engage. Do you understand? I use this statement all the time. They say knowledge is power, right?
Yeah.
But I say knowledge express is power. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if you have the knowledge of having the power
and you don't express
it, then what's the essence of the power? Because the Bible says knowledge profits. Do you understand? So if it's not profiting you, then it's like you don't have it. So I may say because somebody is saying it is okay, because knowledge is in different levels.
That's right.
Okay, there's head knowledge where somebody agrees to what you say but does not even know what you are saying. But it sounds okay with the person. The person mentally agree with what you say, but it's not a life. It's not. You
I get your point. Yeah. I get your point. Now I want to ask this, right? People also sing from their experience, which we talked about. Now, if you don't have, some persons will tell you whatever they are singing is from their personal encounter with God.
Okay.
Because you don't, like you said, you don't give what you don't have.
Yeah.
Right? So if you've not had some certain level of encounter with God, there are certain things you cannot ascribe to Him. You know, some people call the name of God based on their own experience and encounter with God. Now, if someone sings based on his encounter and it doesn't align with this structure of what you have called gospel music, how does that work?
Okay, so let's go this way. When you use the word encounter, remember, I like us to look at the person of God, because you know God has been brought into so many things. Do you understand? And today, you know, God has become a multi-face, whatever you call it.
Is it supposed to be like that?
You know, I'm coming. So now let's look at who God is, because God is not just anything you think in the air. You understand? God is spirit, and not just spirit. God is perfect, meaning that God's character is consistent at all times. Do you understand? That means there are certain things you call encounter that God is not involved. You can have encounter in different ways. I can have an encounter of, for instance, I had an encounter recently coming from town, and then the car we entered got stopped, want to pick someone, and then there are robbers standing by. That's an encounter I have. That's a scene that happened. What you call encounter like that, okay? It's physical. Now, but you should understand, when you say God, there are certain encounter that God is not involved in. Sorry to say that. Do you get it? Because God is constant. So God cannot have a encounter with you telling you to go and kiss someone. Are you understanding me? God cannot have an encounter with you inspiring you to do something that is negative, even if it will profit you. Do you understand me? Now, let's leave that aside. God has a nature, and that nature is consistent in all time, which is love. Are you getting what I'm saying? So if God is love, and all that God stands for is perfection, if God encounters you or you encounter God, what do you think the encounter is going to be.
You should align with who.
Are you understanding me? So because the problem of man is not lack of car. So God's encounter to a man cannot give him car. Do you understand? It shows that it is not God we encounter, because if you encounter God, the thing God will do for you, what the encounter will do. Paul encountered God. Did he drive a car after them? Did he bought a house after them? On his way to Damascus, are you understanding what I'm saying? And what was the experience? You could see his life after to tell you that this man had what you call an encounter, and you could actually trace the consistency.
The consistency.
Are you understanding? Because you could see what his life was like before the encounter, and you could see what his life is later after the encounter. So you see that you're talking about God. So you cannot just say anything that happens to you is an encounter with God. Yes, I understand that some people acknowledge that because they were once poor and then now they can do fine, then God is actually the one that lifted them. You see, that's where it's actually coming from. But ask them, what was it that you were doing before?
That you
Or what is it that you were not doing before and then you're doing now? Are you getting me? Fine. So even if somebody gives you money, people gift money because they want to gift money. That doesn't mean God is the one that is making them gift money. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, but because of that mentality of not knowing who God is, God has been tied to so many things that is not even involved in. Do you understand? So if I want to give you a car, I have to say the Lord laid it in my heart. But there are people who don't even know God who had given cars.
So people call God so many names.
Yeah.
We've seen people praise God. I mean, during our praise and worship, I go, they follow you, they go, follow you, they go.
From where to where? No, the question should be, where is God, where are you, and where is it going that you are following?
So you mean that's not the praise song?
Of course, that's not a praise song. You see, let me use this. Let's break it down. You see, there are songs of declaration where you are declaring, Lawrence, I will follow you wherever you go. But there's a why you want to follow him wherever he goes. Is a declaration. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So maybe meeting with you got my eyes open to certain things in the media feed, okay? And then because of that, I'm like, well, I have to follow you anywhere you go because of what I have experienced. Do you understand? So that is a song of my declaration towards you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm the one speaking what I will do with you. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So it's a song of declaration. Are you understand? So it's in different form. There are songs where you are speaking about how you feel. You understand? How you feel. Say, I feel so loved. I feel so happy because of this. Are you understanding me? But you see, the funniest part of the whole thing is that before anything you think God did or God has done, he has been God before he did anything. Do you understand what I'm saying?
God.
He has been God. Before he made the heavens and the earth, he has been God. But you see, the problem is when people talk about him, it's always attached to things. But have you wondered somebody talking about being faithful, being God all these years, being fixed, being consistent? Do you understand? So I should be able to tell you, thank you, my friend, for being consistent as a friend. But have you not noticed that we always talk about what he did, what he did, what he did, what he did, what he did? But if he's not who he is, he wouldn't have even done what he did. You get my point? So I Go to Follow You to Go is a song that you should question. Now, like I said, the person may be speaking from the point of, I want to follow you. Are you understanding me?
Yes.
Are you getting me? At a certain time, the disciples of Jesus, they left. And Jesus turned to the other and said, are you still here? And they said, to whom should we go? He said, in you lies the word of life. Are you understanding me? So you saw that they were not wanting to leave, not because they don't have where to go, but because they have seen that all that there is here. Are you seeing it now? So if that man starts singing, I will follow God, but forgetting the fact that God does not move from one place to the other. So you are using human terms in explaining that which is spiritual, because the person you're dealing with does not need to go to Malabar by entering a car. He's at the same spot at everywhere at the same time.
So you are trying to now say that there are certain songs we sing during our praises that are not supposed to be there.
Of course, that even if you're going to sing the song, I like things be done for the purpose of why it is established. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Because everything is established for a purpose.
For a purpose.
And if the purpose of a thing is not known, they say abuse is inevitable. So that you are doing it doesn't mean you are using the thing. The chair is meant to sit. So if I stand on it, I'm not using it actually. It's an abuse. But I'm engaging the chair. But it's not meant for me to stand on.
So if it is praise, let it be praise.
Okay, so if it is praise, let it be praise. But question, let's look at the songs that we sing today. When you say, I want to praise Lawrence, it takes knowledge for me to praise Lawrence. Do you understand? I cannot praise you without knowledge.
Without knowledge.
Now, the knowledge is in diverse form. There's a knowledge of somebody talking about how handsome you are, how nice you are. I could praise you based on what someone said. Are you understanding me? But I don't know you in person. Now, I can praise you further by getting to know you. There's a song I love so much that says, you are bigger than what people say. Some say you are good, some say you are kind, but others say, but still you are bigger than what people say. Now, I don't know where the person sang from, but let me use that as an instance. So he agrees that he's bigger than what people say. Are you getting me? Yes, some say he's good, some say he's kind, some say he's this, but he's still because whatever everyone is saying
can still not
explain how big he is. So we're only trying to use words to explain. Some of them are trying to explain their experience, what they have seen, but all of that cannot describe him. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the point here is we have to make sure that what we are doing, we understand the purpose of what we are doing. If you're singing a song, what is the essence of the song? Are you understanding me? Because remember, we are singing the song, but the essence of the song is to the mind. It doesn't affect God. It's your mind. You are singing to your mind. So if you say God is powerful, are you trying to make God more powerful than he is? Whether you say it or you don't say it, God is powerful. Whether you believe it or you don't believe it, he's powerful. It's not your belief that makes him powerful. It's not your saying it that makes him powerful. If he's not powerful, you will not come to say that he's powerful. So you see the thing here. So it is because he is powerful, that is why you will wake up one day to say he is powerful. Are you understanding me? So now the saying is not affecting God.
It doesn't affect.
No, it affects you because you have to have the knowledge of who he is to be able to speak from that point of God is powerful. Do you understand what I'm saying? You get my point. Yes. So it is either you are speaking from what people say, or you are speaking from what you have experienced from this God or by this God. Okay, for you to say, Okpe Lawrence Okpe is rich. Somebody may say that by saying the number of cars you drive, but yet the number of cars does not explain how rich you are. Are you understand what I'm saying? Now, but there's another person who is a close friend, like a brother, who have lived with you, know your investment, know everything, how you were made and everything. If that person uses the same statement, Lawrence Okpe is rich, that same statement is more weightier than the one who says it that you are rich because you have 5 cars. Are you seeing knowledge?
I'm getting your point.
Are you understanding me? So it has to be by knowledge. You take knowledge to praise someone. Now I said praise Okpe. I have to be saying the things about Okpe. Are you understanding me? Yes. So if I say I'm praising God, I go to follow you, they go. Is that praise? So if I say you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are the most reliable person, I'm praising you. Are you understanding me? Yes. So it's either I'm describing your personality or your character or your acts. I'm talking about your personality, your character, or your acts. Are you understanding? So I am praising you. But what is the effect of the praise? It's to my mind.
To your mind.
Because if Okpe Lawrence says, don't worry of what to eat, because I have the knowledge of how rich and wealthy Okpe is, not by what people say, by practical knowledge. Are you understanding me? By experiential knowledge. Okay, it gives me the assurance to be calm and not to worry of what to eat, because the one who says don't worry is capable. So that statement is supposed to affect my mind in dealing with you, in holding the things that you say. So if I'm dealing with Okpe, I'm dealing with Okpe based on knowledge. I know that this guy is rich. How much is 10 million naira? So if he says don't worry about the wedding, I have to go and sleep because Okpe says so.
I'm beginning to imagine myself on the shoe, actually, with the way you've been calling my name on the aspect of rich. Okay, so how do we go about writing our songs?
Okay, so like I said, you see, songs should be written from different perspectives. But if it comes to the gospel, it has to be written by the burial, death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. No, let's be frank, because you see, it's the gospel. When you said this is a thing, it's defined. Are you understanding me? Are you getting what I'm saying? That is a light. It's defined. So how do you use a light? Can you be inspired to use the light by not turning it on?
Now, Pastor AB, songs, we are still on the area of gospel music.
Yeah.
Songs like I have made you too small in my heart, who sing be magnified, oh Lord. Are you now trying to tell us now that those songs, even as popular as they were, are not really preaching, the right message of God?
No, of course. You see, let's go back to the song. The guy is talking about himself making God too small in his eyes.
In his own eyes.
In his own eyes. Now, because of the state where he is, knowledge-wise, he's not saying God be magnified. So let me put it that he's actually saying God should expose himself to him. You understand? Because God cannot be magnified. God is not small. When you say something is magnified, that means something is blown. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I bring an object before a lens, or a lens before an object, you see the lens magnifies, makes that which is small big. Now, so God is not small that he wants to be big. He's bigger than what you can ever think. So, but he's the one who has a problem by making God too small in his eyes because of lack of knowledge. Do you understand what I'm saying? But he went further to say, be magnified. So let me help to say, Lord, show me who you are. Are you understanding me? That would have been better
than be magnified.
You cannot magnify. You only magnify that which is small for you to enable, for you to see it better. Are you getting me? Make that which is small big. So you are actually saying God is small. He said, let's magnify him. Magnify what? Is it small that you want to magnify? Are you understand what I'm saying? You see, those are certain statements, and you see it affects us, because when you have a wrong picture of a thing, your expression of that thing is also wrong.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? So because the way you see a thing will determine how you engage with it. If you see it wrongly, your engagement is going to be wrong. So the first thing is knowledge. Like I said, it takes knowledge to do everything. Praise, worship, whatever you want to do, it takes knowledge to do them.
And sometimes we sing songs that we don't know the meaning, but we feel God understands all language. Okay. I want you to tell me now. I could sing an Igbo song that may be a praise song, but I don't know what that song is saying. Is that correct?
Okay, so in the first place, musically, it's not correct. The first thing you're supposed to do if you want to sing a song that has a language you do not understand, the first thing is know the meaning of what you are saying. I've been to churches, I've been to a lot of places where I see people sing song, and then I ask them, this song you're singing, what's the meaning? She doesn't even know. I've corrected that quite a number of times. Are you understanding me?
So any song you would have to sing.
Now, I've written songs in Igbo language, not totally Igbo, but when I wake up with that insight, for instance, I sang the song Imela o, Imela o, Imela o is in more. My life is hid in Christ. Okay, when I got the word Imela, I called 2-3 Igbo persons. What is the meaning of Imela? What is the meaning of Eze? Are you understanding me? And then before I continued, if it wasn't, I don't know, so I can't just sing a song not knowing what the meaning is. So it is proper to learn the meaning and then learn the pronunciation or the diction of that language
before you sing it. Don't just sing anyhow.
Are you get what I'm saying? So you don't just come up and sing and say God understands all language. You don't understand. In the first place, God is spirit. Are you understanding me? So you are the one. Communication in English is not for yourself. It's not for God. God does not.
Does our songs make God emotional?
Never. Now, this is the part we need to get. When you say God is spirit, I always ask people, what is the image of God? The Bible say it is the image of God who ought to be conformed. What is that image? The image is perfection. Do you understand? So when you say something is perfect, that means nothing affects it. Do you get what I'm saying? When you say something is perfect, because people who talk about God don't understand what the nature is. I once asked someone in the program and say, what is the image of God? He said, we are to image God. And I said, okay, what is the image that we want to image? You understand? So I was curious. I want him to really tell me what the image is, but he doesn't even know. That is why you see they deal with God as one who is inconsistent. So God can be this today, he can change. So that's why you can give to him and he gives to you. Are you understanding me? Because we are coming from the place where we see God as man. So the way our parents and men has dealt with us, we take that as who God is. So if I do something nice for you, you're going to be nice to me, right? Now if I do something wrong, your attitude towards me is going to change. Wrong. Are you getting me? Now that is how we deal with God, because we think God is a man. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so we believe that if you are nice, God will be nice towards you. If you are not nice, God will not be nice towards you. That's why you see certain statements that are made, because the people who are making those statements, they don't even know God. But yet they come back and say he never changed. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. But you see, they make statement that poses God as one who changes.
Now this is making sense, and we are gradually getting into this section, and it's becoming, I mean, you are unveiling quite a lot of knowledge and wisdom even in this section. Now that brings me to my next question, Pastor E. With what you have said, it then means so many songs will go down, even the ones sung by our gospel celebrities, and I am scared. Yes, because you've said certain things. You've said certain things that has brought me to the knowledge of some songs that has been sung. Like, it looks now to me that we don't bring the presence of God down.
Of course.
So the song like "We Wait on You."
Okay, so I like being sincere. Now the statement you made, that means some songs will be down. Like I said, if you use the word gospel, a lot of songs are out automatically.
So they can be, the songs can be anything but not gospel.
No. So if you use the word gospel, that means a lot of songs are out automatically.
Are you getting
it?
Yes, going by what you have defined.
Are you getting it? So but the truth is, there are other beautiful songs. Are you getting what I'm saying? But the song has to be criticized. The song has to be checked. Checking the song with the personality of the one you're singing about is very, very important. For instance, this song you just "We Wait on You." Okay, what are you waiting on him for? It could be you are fixed in a situation and then you are expecting him to speak to you. Okay, so maybe that's where the person is speaking from. Okay, so because I want to also reason where the person is speaking
in order
from,
to align that song.
And you get what I'm saying? Because every song flows from somewhere. There is an inspiration behind every song.
So if it is about waiting for his presence, it's wrong.
No, it's wrong, because his presence never comes or goes. He's a constant. That's why I say God is perfect. Are you understanding? And when we say something is perfect, it's fixed. It does not move. It doesn't come and go. So when you say you are waiting for God's presence, it is wrong. You understand? It is wrong. This man said, Jacob said, "The Lord was here, but I knew not." He was the one who is ignorant of the presence of God. So that means the presence has always been there. But man is not aware of that which is always there, because man has been taught wrongly. Man has been taught more about the external and not the internal. Do you understand what I'm saying? So their dealings are always external. So they believe they are waiting for God. They believe the presence of God is coming and going. They believe that, you have to tarry for the presence of God. Where do we get that from? Are you getting what I'm saying? So God cannot be waited for. How can you wait for a spirit? Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's not coming from left to right. It's everywhere at the same time.
Now you're saying God does not move.
Yeah.
But we have several times said that there's a level of praise you give to God, and it's, it moves him on his throne. It's,
in the first place, let's look at it this way. When you use the word throne, you see, man has the picture of our culture, how a king sits down on a chair. That's true. Are you understanding? Because you see, that's the picture that man has. So you said God is seated on the throne and the 24 elders. You see, it gives you a picture of God sitting. So that means, by implication, you are saying God has a bones, God has legs, God has hands, like the scripture that said, "My ears are not deaf for me to hear you, neither is my hands short." But you see, it's giving you a picture of something. It's actually describing a sin, that it is your iniquity. So it's not like God's hands are short. Are you understanding me? So he's not talking about God has a hand or a leg. Are you getting what I'm saying? You get a picture.
I'm getting a picture.
So, but because we are used to hands, leg, he says he sits in the heaven and he makes the earth his footstool. So you think God has a leg. He's trying to give you a picture. He's both there and I'm both here at the same time. Are you following it now?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what he's trying to make you understand, that David say if I go to hell, he's there. You can't run from God.
He is even in hell.
Are you understanding me? He's everywhere at the same time. But you are the one that is not conscious. Let me give you a scene. There are certain times you have been looking for your car key, but it's in your hands or something. Now, what is happening to you? Your mind is not conscious of the presence of the key, but the key is available. Are you understanding me? Because the mind fluctuates. Are you understanding me? The mind fluctuates. The mind can be here and can be here and can be here. But the key is in your hands, but you were looking for it. It is after like few minutes your mind has to come back and say, oh, I'm even holding it. Are you seeing it now? Okay, so God does not travel. God does not move from one place to the other. So what they call the move of God is actually what I would call an expression or a manifestation. Are you understanding? So that's why you see in certain meetings they say the Spirit of God is moving. Now check it. What are they using to define the move? Somebody falling, shouting, crying, rolling on the floor, right? Are you seeing it now? So you see the problem. So they believe if that happens, then God is moving. But on the stage, Michael Jackson performance, people faint, people scream. So what move is that?
The move of the flesh.
Are you understanding me? Now, so I'm trying to just explain when you say the move of God, because that's where they think God moves. So like there's a certain time of the service where God has to move. Are you getting me? And what do they use to define the movement of God? Is somebody staggering, shouting, speaking in tongues, rolling on the floor. Are you understanding me? But those are not the ways to define the move of God.
How do we define the move?
Okay, so the move of God is diverse. Now, so when you say the move is an expression, okay, of God's manifestation. Are you getting what I'm saying? Now, there are people who can be in a meeting where you are singing or you are teaching and they are just sitting down. You may think they are not following because they are not full of activities. Are you getting me? Remember, man judged by the outward appearance, but they are assimilating and understanding what you're saying. But they don't react. Sometimes they could react. Certain things has happened to you. Maybe a knowledge just entered your mind. There's an insight that comes to them. You just say kabarabahasha. You see, that's an expression of something, but it's not all the time. Sometimes you could be in an environment where you cannot scream. So what happens? Do you understand? So we don't use that to define the move of God. Are you seeing it? And most especially when that happens is when the mind encounters something that is beyond its comprehension. Sometimes you see them react. For instance, you watch a movie and then you see something. How do you react? If I say imagine a sword piercing through somebody's chest and you see it live, or you see a sword just wiping off someone's hands physically in your eyes, you pass out. Are you understanding me? You see, the passing out is an expression of what you saw. Are you getting what I'm saying? You get my point. So that is what they're trying to describe as the move of God. But that's not what you define. Okay, when Paul encountered Jesus, did he roll on the floor? Did he speak in tongues? Are you understanding me? You could hear him talk.
Normal.
Are you getting me? Like he was questioning.
But there was an encounter.
There was an encounter. Are you saying it now?
Now that brings us. I think we should go to the other side of this very show, essence of this show. Now, we have a lot of ministers, gospel music ministers in church of our days, but they don't stay so long.
Okay.
Sometimes you have them here today, tomorrow they are gone, tomorrow they are here, next time they are there, instrumentalists and all that. How do we go about sustaining the talents that we have that are being used as vessel, in church as music ministers or as instrumentalists?
Okay, let's look at it this way. An instrumentalist, one who plays the keyboard. Like I used to tell people, you see, we must view things from the right perspective. You said, oh, he's gifted by the keyboard, plays the keyboard. Okay, but let me go to that point you're trying to make. How do we sustain them? In the first place, these guys, they have certain skills that they can use to aid our time of fellowship. Are you understanding? Somebody playing the keyboard to give good melody and understand for the section of time where we're going to be singing together. And then today they are here, tomorrow they are not here. Now the question is, why are they moving from one place to the other? These are guys who have needs. Now, I don't believe in using yourself to judge everyone. You understand? Knowledge determines the way we react to things at different times. So if certain thing, one particular thing happens to the both of us, we're going to react differently based on knowledge. If I run, it's because of knowledge. If you sit, it's because of knowledge. So when you see me run, you don't say, why is he running? You should understand that it's at a state and he has to run. You are sitting because you are a state and you have to sit because of knowledge. So these guys are growing up. For instance, I grew up playing the drums, okay, and then I stayed in the church where I was born, okay, and then for a long time I didn't go out because I couldn't go out. You know, I had a different insight growing up. Do you understand? First of all, my motive is not to make money. Do you understand? My motive is not to make money. So when I had the opportunity, I didn't go for money. My motive was to use what I have to be an impact to the church
system.
Are you understanding me? That is my motive. Now, I wasn't doing it for God to bless me. Are you understanding me? And I stayed. So even in hunger, I stayed. Even when my friends are doing fine, being paid in other churches, I stayed. I wasn't compared because the motive for me engaging is defined. Are you understanding me? So they couldn't pull me out. Now, so these young guys are at a state in their life where what is most important to them is money. Are you getting it? Okay? And at that age, the knowledge of the truth is not paramount to them. It's not something they really, desire for. Are you getting me? Because they don't believe in the truth. The knowledge of the truth cannot put food on their table. Let me use that word. Okay, so they are moving from one place to the other because they're looking for money. Now the question, you want to sustain them. You have to build a system for them to stay. First of all, you recognize that they have needs. Are you understanding? Some of them are the first in their family. They have siblings who will call them for money. They want to assist their parents and they want to take care of themselves. And then some of them are in a strange land where their parents are not even there. Are you getting me? Trying to start up life.
So don't you think they should have other work to do?
I'm coming there actually. Okay, so the truth is, it is good for us to also understand the people we are dealing with first. So because it will help you better counsel them. Are you understanding? Yes, because if you don't understand who you're dealing with, counseling them, you're going to hurt them. You're going to push them more out. I have a lot of them around me. Are you getting what I'm saying? Okay, so for instance, let me take myself as an example. Engaging in church for these years, I suffered a lot of things. Financially, okay, because I don't have a skill, okay, to make money. The one I was doing, I wasn't doing it because of money. I already concluded that. Okay, so because it's not, ministry is not business.
It's not business.
Are you understanding me? Okay, so I already concluded that. So, but I didn't have any other thing to make money. Okay, the only thing I had was decoration, and the kind of decoration I do, most churches cannot afford it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, I don't do the fabrics. I do more of the light paints, woods, and all of that. Okay, so, and it's expensive, so most churches cannot afford it. Okay, so, but I suffered a lot because when I needed money, I don't have money because the drums I was playing couldn't give me money because I wasn't doing it for money. Thank you. Are you getting me? So if I was doing that for money, I would have gotten some money. So, but I grew up like that. But it got to a certain age where my eyes became open. Like, guy, you need money. Are you understanding me? And what you're doing, you're not making money from it, and you don't want to make money from it. So why not learn something, have something to do so that you can support yourself instead of relying on the church? And coupled with the fact that I grew in the church, I understand how the financial system of the church works. If business is not good for the members, the giving drops.
It drops.
Are you understanding me? So why do I want to come and be putting my hope
on what comes in?
You understand? Other people are hustling to bring money to church. I'm sitting down here because I'm playing the keyboard. Okay, and the church is not ready to give me something. So I'm not just going to sit down. So I have to go get something to do so that I can engage and make money to assist myself and my family. Okay, so these are certain factors that we need to put in place to understand the people we're dealing with. Churches should be able to set up system in the church to help these young ones develop. I know their fears. If we develop them, they will leave. The first place, you're not gathering them to keep them. You understand? The Bible says, let him that gather. There's something about gathering. But he that scattereth. Are you getting me? Are you saying a gathereth? You see, that's a different thing altogether. We are used to holding things. You want to hold it. You want to hold it because you don't want it to spread. But you forget that holding it is actually losing it. If you don't want to lose it,
Allow it.
then you get it. That's how it works. So they will always come and go. Time will come, they go to school. Time will come, they get a job. Are you getting me? That is why we should build a system in church to have these people always trained. You have a department, the instrumentalist, the music department. You should always do, training, bringing new intake. You don't wait until people disappear before you start bringing people in. Always make sure that there are people flooding. It is even in our days. And if you go out, if you have watched movie where they do, churches do auditioning.
Yes.
Are you understanding me? Put out your audition out for musicians, singers. Are you getting me? But you see, because of religion, you say, no, these ones are not Christians. Okay, let's leave it that way. But for instrumentalists, so you talk about a singer who is not Christian, but you're not talking about a keyboardist who is not a Christian. So let's leave that. That's for another side. You understand what I'm trying to say? Okay, so now these are systems that we can put in place to help these young ones. And when they begin to grow in the knowledge of God and maturity, they begin to separate things and put them in their right perspective. Are you understanding? There's a certain age when you give a child meat, he wants to swallow both the meat and the bone. But it is a certain age of maturity where he separates the meat from the bone and spill out the bone and chew the meat. Is maturity.
Now, Pastor AB, you have actually done a lot of work on that area, and I want us to move to the next. And the next we're going through right now is this. I know I've known you for a while, and then when you've been invited to minister in the program, you don't discuss money. I don't know how you go about that. I don't know how you fund your own yourself and all that concerns you. Are you of the opinion that gospel ministers should not be paid?
Okay, I like saying this. First of all, when we deal with truth, it's not our opinion. It is not my opinion. It is what it is. If you call it ministry, it's not business. So it's not my opinion. This is not Pastor A's opinion, because the truth was not structured by my opinion. So my opinion cannot define it. Do you understand? Because if you want to go by opinion, everybody has an opinion. Some say it's good, some say it's the right thing.
So what is the truth?
So the truth here is, it is called ministry. Okay? Meaning taking advantage of opportunity to bring people to the consciousness of the truth so that they can experience the freedom that the truth has brought for them. That is ministry. Are you understanding me? I repeat, taking advantage of atmosphere, okay, environment, to communicate the truth so that people can experience the freedom that the truth has brought for them. Are you understanding me? So now you don't monetize it, because it's not business. So it is a privilege, an opportunity for me to tell someone about the truth of his identity, the truth of who he is, because of all that Christ has done for him.
So how, for those who have taken music as a profession, those who have taken gospel music as their life, this is what they do, this is what they have learned, this is what they have studied and all that, how would they be able to sustain themselves? Okay,
like we're saying the other time, you see, we have the music industry. Are you understanding me? Where you produce songs and then put them on certain digital platforms, okay, for people to stream, and then in return you make certain funds from it. So, but when we come to, like I said, if you come to the gospel, it's a different thing entirely. It's not a business. If you're talking about music industry, it's a different thing, where you can use your voice to make money by producing songs.
It's different when it comes to the gospel.
Are you understanding me? Okay, so for instance, I produce a song, okay, and then I put them on the digital space for people to live stream. The people who created the platform to communicate music to people and in return make money. Okay, so if I want to make money with my sound, okay, I have to get into their platform, okay, for them to,
But most times that's not for free.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you now. Now I said business. Are you getting me? But when it comes to the gospel, it is free. I repeat, when it comes to the gospel, it is free, because you are not the one who initiated it. You didn't buy it. You are not to sell it. So it is free. Are you following what I'm saying? Now, I know a lot of people may have a problem with that, but that's fine. But you see, let's go back to things from the truth of why it was established. When you say it's ministry, what are you simply saying? Are you getting me? You're not the one who started ministry. The apostles, they did ministry. how many times? Yes, they didn't do music like in our time. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So, but the message they preach, for the Bible says, we have all received the responsibility, okay, of preaching the gospel. We have received the responsibility of this dispensing this message of the gospel, sharing the good news. Are you getting it? So we are now the ministers of the gospel. Are you understanding me? So now we are not to attach money to it. It is not correct at any time, and it can never be correct. It doesn't matter how much you make. It doesn't matter how much you get from it. Doesn't make it correct. Remember, the chair is made to sit down. If I stand on it, I am using it, but actually I'm not using it. The right way to use it is sitting on it. Until I start sitting on it, the chair is not being used for the purpose of creation.
So I asked a question, and you've not. I don't think you have hit on the point where on the question I asked about how would they be able to sustain themselves and their family. And again, music, especially now, you don't just produce music just like that, 1,000 or all that. You spend a lot to produce, to max, do the mastering of the music. You spend a lot to, take care of backups, people that follow you to come sing. Because most times I've invited gospel ministers, and then they tell you they are coming with their backup and all that. So that's to register in your mind that if you were planning to give this amount, you should know that I'm coming with these people, and they will not go without some level of appreciation. How do you expect them to manage it, that aspect of their ministry, without funding?
Okay, like I said, once we go back to the word ministry, I like playing with things from their true perspective, not just using words because it sounds nice.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So that's why you see me repeat.
I understand.
Now, how can we do that? Is like I said, we build a system to sustain what they do. For instance, somebody has been in your church for 5-10 years and he sings, and you have enjoyed part of the songs that he's been singing, and you have not come up to say, "Guy, what does it take to put this song out there for it to be a blessing to more people?" Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you following me? Okay. So, and they spend money to do that, and you're not contributing to their development musically. You're not contributing to them putting together their knowledge, okay, and then their inspiration to be a blessing to more people. Are you getting me? And you want them to stay there. Now, it will only take knowledge for them to be there. Do you understand? Like I said of my case, it will only take what? Knowledge for them to be there. I have a friend who is a good pianist, a good producer, and whatever you can talk about. But you see, he plays for only one church. You cannot get him to play for any other church. And he does his business. When it is time for business, you will not see him there. If he's not going to come, he will tell you he's not going to come. And there's nothing you want to say, because he will tell you, you'll see the one that will preach, a man who cannot feed his family is worse than an infidel. So the time he ought to be in his business place, he doesn't go to church. You may say, oh, he's not serving God. That's what you will say, right? Okay, but if he doesn't have to give, you will still be the one to complain. And do you know that this general saying that says instrumentalists don't give?
Yes, there's this feeling that instrumentalists feel what they have given via their talent is enough.
But that is actually not true, because their statement that people make, they only make it from one perspective. You get what I'm trying to say? So these guys go through a lot to put up the song there. I think what the church can do is give them support. You understand? Sometimes it may not be all money. It may be going to someone who is a producer and talk with them,
using your influence.
Your influence to say, okay, I have these guys in church, they are good, and they want to get the music out there. You understand? And with the business side that has come out, they can also make money for themselves. And then I've seen pastors who don't care about even their music people developing. They can only just come and talk about it. You are not rehearsing, but you're not creating platform for them to rehearse. They want to rehearse, no generator, no light to rehearse. They get to find other places to do the rehearsals and all of that. Are you getting me? Now, so they can sustain them by building system of support to them. It mustn't be money. You get? It mustn't be money. Sometimes it could be money. Sometimes advice. Sometimes seeking for these platforms that can enable them do better and push what they are doing, to more people. Instead, they lock them in the church. I grew up in the church. If not that I was the one who, likes doing programs because I want people to get the truth. Nobody would have known me. You only know me by coming to my church, or maybe it's uploaded on the internet. You see me. Are you getting me?
Are you trying to say that that confine of the church is not enough for somebody who have a ministry?
No, of course. What is the ministry? Ministry is all about people. Are you understanding? Ministry should be done everywhere where there are people.
So what about the concept of stay here until you are made, then you go out when your time comes?
Now, one thing we should understand is it is good to stay so that they can learn. Are you getting me? But who defines the time where they should leave? You? I'm a father, okay, and then I have children. They are growing up. Are you getting what I'm saying? Now they get to a stage of maturity. So this age, we're cutting down certain things. Are you getting me? Okay, and then they get to a certain age of maturity. Are you getting me? And then they make their decisions. Are you getting what I'm saying, right? Okay, so now it's the same thing here. We want them to learn, but in the aspect of the truth, you don't measure it with time. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't measure it in time. Paul's one encounter, you see the experience. He didn't need to go to the mountain. He didn't need to do any other thing. Just one encounter on his way. Are you getting me? So it wasn't concise within time. Time doesn't define it, because if you want to use time, the time frame and the measure of the insight you receive, you can't compare it. There are people who have stayed 50 years in quote in the faith who don't have such insight or half of the insight Paul had, because the insight is determined by the one who is unveiling it to you, not by time.
Not by time.
Are you understanding me? But you see, there are certain fears that don't allow us who are pastors allow these ones go. Yes, every parent has that. You know, every parent does that because you don't want your children to make mistake. But let me say this. You see, there are certain mistakes you cannot prevent them from making. It doesn't matter how much you try.
Can only delay it.
Now, if you try to do that, you will help them come to the place of pretense. Are you getting me? They want to go out. They know that you will not allow them go out. What they tell you they're going for rehearsals. Right? Because they know if you mention rehearsals, you let them go. And then in going to rehearsals, they go elsewhere to do something else. That's pretense. You caused it. But they may struggle with it, but allow them go to the point where they understand that that club is going to be to their own detriment. Are you understanding me? And they go to a certain age where they make decisions for themselves. Are you getting me? Now, most times you discover that it is not that the parents didn't do their work. It is actually the influence, that which, the knowledge that influences the mind of the child, that which he receives more. So sometimes we accuse the parents of not teaching their children well. They are not home trained. That's not correct. I was home trained, but there are certain things that I did that my parents didn't teach me. You get that point,
yeah.
right? Okay. Now, because I interacted with other knowledge, and I accepted those knowledge more because I was young. But as I grew into maturity, I started filtering. Are you understanding me? I started filtering. So we should allow them to grow. When they go to a certain age, you know, they do the right thing.
They do the right thing.
Are you get what I'm saying? Yes. But that holding them back is not the truth. There are people who don't go out to attend other programs outside their church. What you're doing to them, you're destroying them. Do you understand what I'm saying? I used this statement someday in a program. I said, for me to know that you know that 1 + 1 is 2 is not that you say it when I ask you. For me to know that you know, when I mean know, having the precise, accurate knowledge that 1 + 1 is 2 is when you sit before a professor of mathematics and is able to use all the illustrations, everything he has, to tell you that 1 + 1 is 11, and you didn't think if it's correct, you didn't fact check, you didn't try to reason it, you know it. Do you understand? Because you have encountered another knowledge, and that knowledge did not make you try to process it if it is actually correct. You know it.
That's true.
Do you understand? So when we raise children, we allow them encounter other knowledge. That is what tells us if they are learning. Wow. Some pastors, to say, sorry to digress, some pastors are angry when they bring the preacher to their pulpit and then they are preaching and say, if you have spiritual problem, come out. And then they see their members coming out and they are angry.
They don't like it.
Are you seeing it?
Apart from spiritual problem,
okay.
You say, if you know you want to give your life to Christ, come out. Some pastors don't really like it when certain members of the church come out.
Are you seeing it?
Yes.
Now, that is because you see, they are assuming they know.
So, practically you're saying, if you have said clearly that you are running a ministry in music, you should not consider money or payment as part of it.
Of course, like I said, the word ministry, okay, now the thing you are using to engage, who gave it to you? Did you buy it? You didn't buy it. It's not
freely you receive.
Are you getting
freely
it?
you should
But like
give.
I said, we have the music industry. Are you getting it? And so with some people who even do gospel, some of them, their songs are on the platform where
they can actually make money.
Yes, because people have developed the system for people to engage in your music and make money.
So our gospel artists, some of them even charge as much as 10 million naira, some charge 5 million naira, and there are people who were able to afford them. Yeah. Is anything wrong about it?
You see, it's not like there's anything wrong in enabling people from one environment to another environment to do the work of ministry. Do you understand? For instance, you are inviting me. I'm not coming alone. I go with a keyboardist, a drummer, backup singers. Okay? So if I call you to say, I'm man of God, I don't have what it takes to convey my people that way. Now, first of all, before I say it or me telling you, it's supposed to be your responsibility to know that these guys will need aid to come. Are you getting me? Okay, so which is not out of place. It's not a crime. You get my point? For you to know that it will take transport for me and my guys.
They'll need to eat. Sometimes if they have to be there for this, they need to be lodged.
Yes. The problem here is that certain people take advantage of some of these things. You know what is right, but you don't just want to do it.
Yes.
You get my point? Which is totally condemned. If somebody is if you want to do something for someone and you don't have what it takes, what happens? In fact, when you want to engage someone, you know the person is leaving his or her house to come and do something for you. He's going to pay transport, money for transportation and all of those things. So you should be aware that I want to engage this person to come and do something. But from the end of the person, what I'm doing is a ministry, being a blessing to a people. So for me, it's a privilege, and a responsibility given to me by God for this truth to go around for other persons, to come into the light of the truth. So I don't attach payment to it. So whatever you give to me,
I should appreciate
yes, I should appreciate it.
So I shouldn't consider my level, because some of them, they look at themselves, they are stars, they are celebrities, even though they are into gospel music. And then I heard one said he went to minister someone, then he was embarrassed because he was given 20,000 naira. But the church wasn't a big church. That was what they could afford. But he wasn't happy about it. In fact, he saw that as an embarrassment. So to you, he shouldn't have thought that way.
No, of course. You remember, the motive is already wrong in the first place. So the hope postponed, the Bible says, makes the heart sick. So if I don't have an expectation of something from you, I cannot be disappointed. Do you understand? So first of all, he has a wrong expectation, or he has an expectation. Let me not say wrong expectation. So he's disappointed. For me, I go out to meetings. I don't have that in my mind. Sometimes, most of the times, I go with my transport and transport my guys because it's ministry. So I'm coming to do ministry. I don't need to burden you to do ministry. I'm coming to relieve a burden of people, and you who is actually, taking up the responsibility to do it, I'm not supposed to be more of a burden to you. It's supposed to relieve the burden of you. Do you understand? Not coming to burden you financially.
I don't think the reason why, could it be now that the reason why some of these gospel ministers, popular ones per se, charge is because of what they think these pastors want to do with their presence?
Yes. Funny enough, some persons engage them because they want to pull the crowd.
Yes.
Are you getting me? Yes. But whichever way it is wrong is wrong. What is wrong is wrong. Do you get my point?
So even if that pastor have that intention, you go in.
The pastor has the intention.
You should go with a pure intention.
You understand? Your intention ought to be pure. And at the end of the day, you're going to be a blessing to people, from different, environments. Just from that one spot. It has happened to me several times. The places where you don't even expect it. Are you getting me? So I don't look at sizes. Remember, Jesus was going somewhere and somebody met him on his way somewhere and said, my son is sick. Now he left. He came for the people. He didn't need to say, you have to get me wine. He didn't need to say, you didn't inform me on time. Now, informing someone on time, I'm not saying it's not good because the person has other program. But there's no principle. There's no, what's it called, to how you connect with him, because he realized that he came for the people. So there is no ministry without the people. Do you get what I'm saying? So ministry is all about people. Who are you going to preach to? Animals? No, people. So every time you have the invitation to come and be,
you should count it a privilege.
Yes, because ministry is free.
And you shouldn't compare. This congregation is too small for me to come.
No, in fact, where are we getting all that from? Even if this 5 person is ministry, if it is 1 person is ministry, if it is 10,000 is ministry. Do you get my point? Because it's not in numbers, it's in person. As much as you have a human being there, it is ministry should be
For
done.
those ones that have become popular, that are stars,
Yeah.
how do you think they'll be able to sustain? Because sustainability is another thing.
Yes.
Sustain their family, their bills and all that, if they don't attach financial, stuff to it.
Okay. So you see, the truth is, sustainability is good. It's good to sustain. Everything needs to be sustained. Do you get what I'm saying? But you see, as much as you want to live a certain life, do business. Ministry is not business. It may not sound okay with a lot of people, but the truth is the truth. Not because you like it, not because it sounds nice to you. It is the truth. So you can be doing, I'm not asking you to stop it either, but whether you do it the way you have been doing it or not, the truth is the truth. Are you understanding me? So
it doesn't change because of how you decide to practice it.
It has nothing to do with your feeling, your emotion, your technicality of how you approach it. No, the truth is the truth. You are not the one who started it. Go back to history. Nobody has done that. Paul has never gone to one city to another telling a minister or a people who wants to go and preach to that you have to pay me a certain amount of money. He hasn't done that. He has not done that at any time. So whether you like it, you believe it or not, what the truth is the truth.
What the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
That is what Pastor AB, our guest, has decided to use in ending this very section. Of course, we are going to be having some progressive sections with him on different topics, but today we talked about music, and in extension we talked about the welfare of music ministers. Well, great time it has been with you, Pastor AB, and I really appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
Well, I know you have comments and you have questions. I know. Just go to the comment section and do drop your question there, and he is going to respond to it. Follow us on Black Giants TV on all social media platforms, especially YouTube, and also follow me, Okwe Lawrence Okwe, on all social media platforms. This episode is going to be uploaded either on the Black Giants TV YouTube or Okwe Lawrence Okwe on Facebook. So follow us and let's continue from here. And it's always been a nice time with you. Thank you to everyone who have been viewing our posts. Make sure you continue doing that, because we still have a lot of content coming your way. Thank you so much, Pastor AB. God bless you. Let's say God bless you now, because you're already blessed. If I talk that one now, you say,
no, you say remain blessed.
Remain blessed. Thank you so much. Good.
Thank you.